Hey everyone, it's Helen Eimers. I am a success coach and I support driven womenpreneurs to amplify their energy, their influence in this beautiful life, and their income so that they can give more abundantly. I'm so excited for this masterclass today. Cut the chase. In a moment here, I'm going to tell you how this idea came to me. I love when ideas come to me and when I can be in that flow of experience and just feeling. I'm going to make sure that I can see everyone in the comments live. So please, if you're watching live, if you are coming on watching the replay, you can just comment here. I'm going to take everyone so that we can get people here on the call on this masterclass. So, this masterclass is all about cutting the chase, not cutting to the chase. And I'll explain the difference here in just a moment. But it's really about cutting the chase of where we're at so that we can be more present in our business, so that we can be more present in our lives and feel and find that joy. So if you're watching, please comment your name and what business you run or what kind of work that you do, and I'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and drop something in the comments to let me know that you're here, let me know that you're watching, and also where you're from. And this masterclass idea came to me when I was in the shower. I absolutely love hearing or feeling the excitement and the flow of ideas that come to me. And they come to me when I open myself up to the things that are available all around me. So if you're watching, please comment below. I'm seeing that I may be having some connection issues. So hopefully that's not a thing. So if you're watching and you're freezing up, please just let me know. Okay. So hello to everyone joining. Please drop your name. Please comment the type of work that you do and where you're from. So this masterclass is all about cutting the chase. Often we say cut to the chase, come on, just quit explaining, get onto it, get to the point. And that's how I functioned for many years in not only my personal life, but also my business. I'm I want to be here yesterday. I want to be at this next step. And it's so important for me to get there. But what was happening is I was missing so much on the way there. I was missing so many things. On the way there, right? And what would happen is I would just kind of put all of my eggs in the same basket. And that's not always good, because when you drop the entire basket, because we're humans and sometimes that happens, right? Like the bottom falls out. It can be a major letdown. It can be a major fruit basket upset per se. So I honestly used to get so excited when an event would get closer. And then I would actually wish that it wouldn't happen, because I knew that after that event, after that thing, after that accomplishment, after what was going to happen, it would be like a major wah wah, right? Like I'd have this huge high and then this huge low. So it was so many ups and downs, and I was just always chasing that next thing. I had to keep filling my adrenaline tank. I had to keep getting those dopamine hits from somewhere, and when I wasn't getting them, I really felt in a huge place that something was missing, right? And so that was me trying to cut to the chase, trying to get to where I wanted to be, but always and never not being present. Always not being present in the actual process. So this masterclass is all about becoming and shifting more into that presence in your business so that you can enjoy all pieces and parts of it along the way. So I am a coach nurse, right? I've been a nurse for 16 years, and that shifted into coaching. And I found that the most successful women that I'm working with were driven, successful entrepreneurs, because they have a mission and a purpose to share, but in that they get really burnt out. And so that's why I love working with the group of women that I work with women like you who are really driven and passionate about sharing your purpose and mission in this beautiful life. But with that comes some burnout. With that comes some, I wish I was already there. With that comes some comparison that we all can experience no matter what type of work we're doing, no matter what business we have. And my story, when it comes to cutting to the chase or cutting the chase, right? Is that I didn't cut the chase. I was always chasing the next best thing. And this was like this was ingrained in me since I was a child, right? And we see kids do this a lot too. My kids do it, and I have to remember that they're children and continue to foster and teach them, right? But it's like they're always looking for like, what's next? I'm bored. I need something to make me feel happy, to make me feel satiated, to get those dopamine hits. And it can be really a place where we get addicted to that chase, right? Has anyone said, like, drop an emoji if you've ever been like, I thrive on chaos. Like, the crazier it is, the more I feel in my element. Drop an emoji if you've ever thought that, if you've ever felt that. Maybe a little chaos emoji. And if you're just joining live, if you're new to the chat, please drop your name in the chat. Let us know what you do. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But drop an emoji also if you have been in a state or said to anyone or thought in your heart, like, I just always have to be busy. Chaos is like where I thrive best. And that's part of the chase, right? And so what would happen, and my husband basically slapped me in the face, not literally, but figuratively with this, is one evening when he said, why can't you just be happy? And of course, I was like pissed immediately, right? Like my guard went up. I was like, I am happy, right? Like I'm screaming at him, like, I am happy. But it was this realization. I didn't even realize what I was doing. And so today we're going to talk through that. We're going to step through this process of cutting the chase, of not needing that big giant thing, or not even experiencing the most amazing things along the way as we chase. And that takes our energy. It doesn't allow us to be as influential as we would like to be and share our mission as much as we would love to. And also, it keeps us stuck. It keeps us playing small. It keeps us doing the same things over and over and chasing kind of that high, honestly, literally. And it's exhausting. Okay. So like I said before, I used to get so excited for an event. And as it got closer, I was like, I actually don't want it to come, because when it's over, like I've got this like lull, right? Because I'm like, where am I going to get my dopamine hits after that? Like I had to keep filling that adrenaline tank. Now, the most significant way I can relate to this is the time I went skydiving. Now, you guys, if you haven't been skydiving and you've thought about it, just go do it. Okay. And when I went skydiving, literally after I was done skydiving, I'm like, I don't even, like, I didn't know what to, like, there was nothing that could match that. Okay. So that's a different kind of adrenaline or energy, but that's what it reminds me of when I come up and it's something big and it's something big. And then afterward, it's like, I need something to match it. I need something to keep that up. And so when we can regulate a constant and safe dopamine hit, right? It's a powerful way to live with more joy and peace and presence versus these like, whoop, up, down, up, down, up, down. It can be exhausting. So yes, we want to plan for and get excited for big events. There are big things that happen in our life, in our business, but don't let them consume your in-between moments, right? When we allow those big events to consume our in-between moments, the in-between moments are the days that really, really matter, that add up. How you live your days is how you live your life. It isn't how you live your big events and anticipated future, right? How you live your life is your days, right? Not how you envision how you'll live it, and not how you live your big events, right? While that's important, planning for big events and having a vision for your life and your future and your business, it is so important, all the in between. Because we want to notice it. We don't want to just go through with our eyes closed or feeling numb to it because we're chasing. So I want you to drop an emoji if you've ever felt in your business like you are chasing a result, or like, I need to be here right now, or I'm just ready for this next best thing. Drop an emoji if that's been you. For sure, it's been me at times in my life and in my business, and it can still happen, right? We're human. I'm human. And it's something that we just want to be aware of. So feel free to, if you're hopping on live, go ahead and drop your name, share where you're watching from, share what you do. We want to hear from you. We want this to be interactive, and make sure that you stick around to the end, because when you're here at the end, you're available, you're able to qualify for live cash bonus giveaways. I'm really excited to do that. So drop an emoji if you've ever felt like you are chasing something. And sometimes we may not be aware of this. And that's where I want to start today. Really cutting the chase of needing or feeling that pressure of being somewhere that you're not starts with recognition. So first we recognize, we acknowledge something's existence, right? We become aware of it. It's not a judgment. It's not like we have to pull ourselves out or save ourselves right away. It's just an acknowledgement of something's existence. So again, for many years until my husband kind of slapped me in the face with it, I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't even know that I needed or thrived on this chaos or this chase, right? This need to have something more at another time or in the future. It's so important to recognize and get curious, right? So if you're listening in or you're watching the replay, feel free to type, feel free to share in the chat. It's like, get curious about this. What am I skipping over? What can't you wait so badly to achieve or reach? Just type it in the chat if you're comfortable with that, or just think about these things right now. Okay. If you type them in the chat, we can do a little bit of live coaching, which is super, super fun. But just get curious. What am I skipping over? What are you skipping over? Do you say things like, once I have this, then, right? Maybe once I have my business plan done, then I can play with my kids. Once or only after the new menu is done and created will I have increased profits, right? It's like that if, then when, or once, then, right? So notice the ways, recognize and get curious about the ways you are saying those things in your business, because they're very, very powerful when it comes to recognition, right? These thoughts and statements really make us feel limited. They make us feel pressured on a subconscious level, and they make us feel stuck in a way, right? Powerless. We have this little bit of powerless here when we are saying things like that, when we are limiting ourselves, when if, then when, or once, then, right? It's a place and a time that limits what we can do. It limits our capacity, and it makes us feel like we're not there yet. Now, we may know very well that we're not there yet. That's an awareness too, right? I'm here. I want to be there. That's super, super important to be aware of. Another way to get curious is ask yourself, why am I chasing that result? Right? Where's this chase, this energy of I have to, or I need to be there right now? Is there something right now, right here that I'm avoiding that isn't comfortable, right? I love the result, but sometimes I don't always like the work to get there, right? It's a challenge. It's work. There's no easy way to do it. It's putting in the reps. And when we think about why I'm chasing the result, why you're chasing the result, right here, right now, something in the present that we might be avoiding, it might not feel as good as the actual acknowledgement of the result, of the actual result. Okay, so just be aware, just get curious of is this happening in my life? Oh my gosh, this is happening in my business. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm doing. I want to be aware. When you recognize it, if there's a recognition, write it down. Just simply get the words out so that it gets out of your body, so that you quit holding on, so that you let go of some of that pressure. It's just an awareness. It's just an assessment. It doesn't have to mean anything. Say it out loud. Share it with a trusted friend or colleague or healer, coach, therapist. I know my coach, I'm always telling her hey, I'm just telling you this because I'm aware of it. I'm aware that I'm doing this. I'm aware that I'm self-sabotaging in this way. I am aware that I want to skip over this part to get to the good part, right? What is that song? It's skip to the good part. I get it. We all want that high, that dopamine hit of that feeling of I'm done, I'm accomplished. This is what's happening. If you're joining live, just drop your name down and let us know what you do and where you are tuning in from. Okay. And we're talking right now about cut the chase. And the first piece of that is recognizing that we're chasing. And again, for years, I didn't even know I was doing this. Okay. So these are the sneaky ways it can show up when we're saying things like, once I have this done, then, or, avoiding something in the present moment to want to be where we are, right? Tunnel vision of everything right, in the future, but not opening your eyes to what's around you. Okay. And there's definitely a place and a time where we want to zoom in and we want to zoom out, and we want to be intentional about that so that we are not in this place of just living in a zone, right? Not being present, not, being in the space of there's so much pressure. I have to be there. I need to be there. So first we practice recognition. We say it out loud. We write it down. We share it with a trusted friend. Now I'm saying all this not to discredit that you will have work to do. You will have deadlines. You need to dream and set goals in your business. It's important. It's a part of you thriving. But how you choose to use your words and how you think about it will shift everything. So I'm not telling you to just sit in the moment and sit in the heart and sit in the gunk and that it's going to be easy. It's like, no, we want to just recognize what's happening, getting curious about the ways we're trying to skip over everything, or we're not even recognizing what's happening around us, and we're just cutting to the chase. Because when we do that, we experience such highs and such lows versus this wow, everything around me is beautiful and I'm grateful for this and what I'm learning. After we've recognized this, right? And again, still knowing that we're going to do the work, you will have deadlines. You will need to dream and set these goals, right? It's a part of it. Then it's important that we regulate, right? Once we've had awareness. Now, I love wordplay. I love definitions, and it's so powerful when we can know what something means, because we might have an idea about it in our head or a thought about it, but it can be skewed. It's based on sometimes our thoughts or opinions. And so regulate really means to control or maintain the rate or speed so that it operates properly. I love this word, right? We want to have control so that things are running smoothly, so that we can be in the present, so that we can enjoy all the moments instead of just the most amazing moments or just the highlight reel, right? This is what we see on social media, is like the highlight reel. And it's so important to have that regulation. Okay. So I want you to drop an emoji below if you are like, wow, having control or maintaining a certain rate or speed, right? Like, yes, we're going to flex and flow, but so that I and my business operate properly, how nice would that be? Would that be awesome if your business felt regulated? Drop like a high five, a hands up, a thumbs up, a heart. Drop something in the chat to let me know if you would love to just have regulation in your business, because that is super important. Okay. So when we regulate or control or maintain the rate or speed that our business operates in properly, it feels so much easier. There's so much less pressure, right? We're not jamming on the accelerator or slamming on the brakes. We're able to just be in this space and it feels okay. It feels safer, right? We all want to feel safe and secure no matter what we're doing. So how can we regulate? How can we regulate so that we can cut the chase, right? Just cut it off, right? It's not that it isn't there. It's not that we don't want those things, but we're going to cut this need to be there right now, or this pressure that we're putting on ourselves. It's so important when we regulate to begin with the end in mind, right? Where are you going, right? Are you going to this city? Are you going to this town? When you think about a car, right? So we begin with the end in mind. When we're driving somewhere where we know where we're going, we know the path to get there, or we look it up, or we GPS, or we use the map. And we want to work backwards from that. So just like that in your business, if you know what you're chasing, just say okay, yeah, this is where I want to be. And then we can reverse engineer it and work backwards. This is why I sit down every Sunday with my passion planner. Instead of thinking about all that I have to do during the week, I lay it all out. I get real. I plan it, including downtime and family time and my self-care. I put it all in. And when you can do that, when you can begin with the end in mind, right? What all do I want to accomplish this week to get here? Or when I look at 3 months in advance and I have another retreat coming up, what is important for me to do as the steps along the way, right? I was just talking with a client today. It's so amazing how much time we spend. We spend way more time thinking about doing something or stressing over doing something than actually the time it takes to do it. Have you guys ever like experienced that? You're like, I've thought about this all the time. It's been like 2 weeks and I'm still thinking about it, but yet I haven't done it. And really, it might only take 15 to 30 minutes to do. So drop an emoji if you've ever had that happen, or just put a thumbs up or a heart. Just let me know if you've ever had that happen. If you've like thought about something actually more, taken more time to think about it or worry about it or get anxious about it than it actually takes to do. I know that has happened to me, right? Little thumbs up there. So I see you there. I see you. And then we break it down, right? We break the work down. This is a way of regulation. This is a way of being present. Instead of focusing on the big picture of the big chase, of the big mountain we're trying to climb, it's like, how do you get to the top of the mountain? You climb one step at a time. How do you get to the top of the stairs? You climb one step at a time. So break it down, then break it down smaller, then break it down smaller. And that's how we regulate it versus going, ooh, 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 ooh. We're like stopping and starting all the time. And like we're getting whiplash and it's getting exhausting and it's too much, right? So we break it down. The next thing we do is celebrate daily, hourly if you want, right? Like I love to have fun in my work. Do you guys like to have fun in your work? Is it fun to have fun in your work? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart if it's fun for you to have fun in your work. That's like, honestly, like what life is all about. It's like if I go to a job. If I go to work every day and I'm miserable and it's no fun and it's exhausting, it's going to feel so heavy and it's going to feel so pressured. And that's not something that I want to do. That is just not something that I choose to do. Now, some people choose to stay in the same job, or they choose to, stay where they're at, and that's okay. That's their choice. It's not for me. And I know it's not for you because you're a driven womenpreneur. So celebrate daily or even more often. So when I achieve this milestone, right? Set it in advance. When I achieve this milestone, when I break it down and I accomplish this, what will I do? Maybe I'll go for a 5-minute walk. And this doesn't have to be like you go on a big giant vacation, or it doesn't even have to be like a huge self-care thing, right? But it's like, when I'm done with this, I'm going to get up and walk outside. When I'm done with this, I'm going to go make myself another cup of tea or coffee. It can be something small, something really small. Text a friend, text a coach, an accountability partner. It's so important to have accountability in your life, right? So when we can celebrate daily, we can work to regulate this instead of waiting to celebrate at the end, waiting to celebrate when we achieve that thing that we're chasing, right? Because when we train ourselves to only get dopamine hits, to only have that adrenaline rush when we achieve that big thing, it's like a lot of pressure on us to have to keep achieving and doing big things. Have you guys ever felt that, where you're like going, and you actually at the end of a big monumental thing, you've achieved it, you've accomplished it, you actually don't even celebrate because you have to physically take a rest because you're so exhausted? Hands up, hearts up. Has that ever happened to you guys? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a thumbs up or a heart if that's ever happened to you, where you've like been going, and you actually get to a place of burnout when you achieve that big thing that you can't even celebrate because of it, because you're so exhausted. Yeah. It's totally happened to me in the past. And so when we bring it back down, when we help to regulate those celebrations, those accomplishments, we train ourselves to not need that big giant dose of skydiving adrenaline. We get it all the time. We're taking hits all day long of the good stuff, of the presence in our business and the presence in our life. And it's beautiful. And as we regulate, it's so important to just find that sweet spot for you, right? Like maybe you like to do one thing every week to celebrate your accomplishments. Maybe you do something after every single task that you do. And again, it doesn't have to be something big. And so when we can resonate, right? The next place we're going to move in this is resonate, which is to produce or be filled with a deep, full, reverberating sound. How amazing is that? To be able to be present in the most deepest way, can I say that correctly? To be present in the deepest, most present way in your business. Like, I just want you to just entertain yourself. Just close your eyes for a moment and think about being present in your business. What does that look like? Maybe your communication is better. Maybe you're noticing the little things that people do for you. Maybe you can get excited about something that you did that you've been thinking about for a few weeks. Feels good to just pause and be present, to think about that, to be aware, to put yourself in that place, to take some of that pressure off. And when we resonate with the whole entire process and be filled with a deep, reverberating presence, it's beautiful. We don't feel that pressure. Even though your goals and your dreams are still there, there's not this chase. We just cut it out. We're just like, just stop. And if you have to say that out loud, there are times in my days where I just say, Helen, stop. Helen, pause. Helen, redirect. Helen, refocus. I coach myself all day long, and I want to encourage you to do the same thing. So start to resonate. And one of the ways you can do that is make your work fun. Make your work so fun. Work and business is like one big game if you choose to make it that, right? I want you to imagine playing your favorite game. Drop it in the chat. What is your favorite game? I love card games with my family. I'm going to give you a moment to drop it in the chat. What's your favorite game? Is it like Sequence? Is it Sorry? Is it Monopoly? I love to play a card game called Hand and Foot. I love to play that game. It's called Hand and Foot or Canasta. I love it. You need lots and lots of decks of cards. There's cards going everywhere. It's crazy. Comment in the chat. What is your favorite game? What's your favorite game that you have? Rummy 500. Yeah. Thanks, Anna. So Rummy 500. Mine is Canasta, Hand and Foot. Anyone else want to share their games? Drop it in the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, I want you to know this. What's a game that you love to play? Whether it's a board game or a card game, be aware of this, because guess what? You can play a game with this. Okay. So imagine your most favorite game, and what move in the game excites you the most? Is it knocking the partner off the board? Not knocking the partner, knocking your, opponent off the board and Sorry? Is it getting a run in Sequence? Is it buying the boardwalk in Monopoly? Is it, for me, in Hand and Foot and Canasta, it's getting into my foot, right? You have 2 decks of cards and you go through your first pile and then you get into your foot. And I actually made a separate rule that my family doesn't always agree with. But when you get into your foot, you have to announce that you're into your foot, because I might look over and I'm like, oh, you're in your foot? Shoot, I got to catch up, right? And I love kind of like bingo, right? I don't know if anyone loves to play bingo, but when I get a bingo, it's so exciting for me. I get so excited. I'm like, bingo. And so I made this rule that when you get into your foot, you got to yell it out loud. I'm in my foot. So Anna, think about the most favorite part, the most pivotal moment in Rummy 500 that gets you most excited. Like when you draw a certain card, or when you lay down, or maybe when you see that you have less cards than your opponent. I don't know. And I want you to visualize and feel that happening in your business when you accomplish something, when you stick to the plan. So how I can incorporate this and help it resonate within me and my business is when I do something fun, I'm like, I'm in my foot. I made it here. This is so fun. Or maybe you say Uno, right? Hey, just letting you know that I'm on my way. So do something fun. Make it fun. Make it exciting. Connect it in some way with something fun that you love to do, and say that. Bring it into your business. Bring it into your life, and let it resonate within you. Let it create a resounding joy and presence in your business, so that it brings you back, that it keeps you present. It takes the pressure off. There will always be things to do. There will always be big goals. There will always be milestones that you want to hit. But if we continue to just go 0 to 60, we're going to feel burnout. We're going to feel pressure. We are not going to see every beautiful little thing that's happening around us. And when you resonate, share this with your team. Share this with those around you. Share this with your colleagues, with your network, with your cohort, with maybe you have a mastermind, maybe you have a mentor or your coach. That's why it's so important to have people in your corner who are supporting you, who are encouraging you. And lastly, we want to reflect, right? Like, where am I at? Okay, this is where I've gotten this week. What is special about this? What is going to push me to the next level? So when we can recognize what's happening when we're chasing something in our life, when we can regulate how it's flowing through us, what's happening, and when we can resonate with all of it by having fun, by sharing it, and then by reflecting with where we're at, and is that feeling good? Am I noticing the little things? Am I being grateful that I messed up on this or that I'm not there yet? Because maybe this is trying to show me something. Maybe I'm not supposed to be there. And with gratitude and resonating with that, we can see that, we can feel that, and it's so much less pressure than needing or having to be there all the time. It's so beautiful. So I'd love to have you drop in the chat anything that you connected with in this masterclass, anything that really spoke to you. And again, the three things when it comes to cutting the chase versus cutting to the chase. And my husband, anyone that meets me will tell you that like I'm like a master multitasker. I love to multitask. I've backed off from doing some of that because what that did is it allowed me to not focus on all the things I was doing fully, and I was missing out on the most important things. So while I still love to multitask, while I pride myself on being a multitasker and getting things done efficiently, there are some things that I just choose not to multitask on anymore because it's just that important for me to be present in my business. I make that conscious choice. So when we can recognize the ways that we are cutting to the chase versus cutting the chase, it's so important. When we can regulate, right? Regulate versus that stop and go and start and stop and 0 to 60 and 60 to 0, it's just takes the pressure off. It's just not there anymore, right? And there will be times where it's there. There will be times where you have bigger deadlines, but you could just come back to this. You come back to this regulation. How can I regulate it? How can I break it down? How can I celebrate it daily? And then you just, like a resounding gong, you make it fun. You share the good word. You reflect. And you notice where you're at. You celebrate those accomplishments and you be proud of where you're at. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful space. And these tactics, these skills are what we focus on in the Amplify Academy all the time when driven womenpreneurs come into this space and it's feeling too heavy. It's feeling like it's too much. They're not seeing or feeling the presence, or they feel totally disconnected, or they don't have any energy, or they always seem to get the deadline done because they're amazing, and then they're just burnt out, or they have to take a break, or they get frustrated in the process. And when we can just let go and when we can cut the chase, it helps us be more present. It helps us take that pressure off in our business. So the Amplify Academy is a very special place for driven womenpreneurs to increase that energy, to really feel that, and to learn and continue to implement and have support with the tactics that I teach as in this masterclass. And it's a beautiful, beautiful space. And there are glowing testimonials. A lot of my clients say, this is so simple, right? It's so simple. None of it is easy. This is hard. This is a hard path. We have to go through the mud and the muck to get to where we want to be. We have to do something different than we've ever done before, right? To get to places where we want to be. But it's really a place where we can simplify things and make it more beautiful. So I want to offer some bonuses here live on the call. Now, if you're watching the call and you want to be registered for a $500 credit towards the Amplify Academy, please comment your name below in the chat. And I'm just going to drop the link because the calls with my strategist, Sarah, she's also a 6-figure business owner, and she loves to support womenpreneurs to really come into this space of feeling more energy and more freedom. And she loves to share about the program here, the Amplify Academy. And her calls will fill up very soon, very quick this week. She won't have any left. And so I want you to be sure you talk to her about how the work in the Amplify Academy can help you energize, to help you create a big influence in your life, and to create that income that you desire so much, to share, to give abundantly. It's a beautiful space. I'm going to drop the link here so that you guys have that. You can get on her schedule today. And what I want you to do is just drop your name in the chat. If you are a female business owner who is ready to amplify your energy, your income, and your influence, drop your name. If you want to be entered into the drawing for a $500 bonus, I'm giving 2 $500 bonuses away here live on this call for anyone who comments. And I'd like you to just drop your name down. Now, drop your name if you want to be included in that, and I will go ahead and draw. So if you're watching, I know there's not a whole lot of people here live. If you're watching the replay and you're like, oh man, I missed this live and I want to take part in this $500 bonus, you can message me after the call. I'll be in my DMs. I'll be taking a look at anyone who is ready to just dive into this work and stop feeling that pressure and feel more energized and feel that presence in their life. Just feel that. It's such a beautiful place to be. If you're part of the academy, this is you're kind of exempt from the drawing, but I love that you're here live, Anna. I'll be messaging you after the call because I have something fun for you. So thank you so much for joining. If you know someone who this would apply to, who would love to be connected and more present in their business, tag them in this video, have them watch this. And if you're watching the replay, definitely message me and say, hey, I wasn't able to join live, but how can I get a bonus to join the Amplify Academy this week? What does that look like? How can I get started and how can I amplify my energy, my influence, and my income this week? So I know I've got some current clients on the call. They're awesome. They're amazing. They're really focusing on their business in this time, on increasing their energy. So if you're watching the replay, please just send me a message and ask me how you can get a discount this week only. If you watch the replay and message me and mention this masterclass, I am happy to give you a discount on the academy, and just message me to see what that looks like. So I love you guys so much. Please share this with any driven womenpreneurs who are ready to let go of that pressure, who you see running around anxious and worried all the time and overwhelmed and stressed, and who seem to be missing the most beautiful little things in their life or business. Share this with them. Tag them in it. Send them a private message. Say, hey, my friend Helen, she has got some really fun stuff, and it's a great way to simplify it, a great way to just come into this place of getting out of the ordinary, grueling, hustling, grinding of running a business and being an entrepreneur. There's a different way you can do it, and I'm here to show you how. So I love you guys so much. Message me this week to learn how you can get a discount on the academy, and mention that you watched the replay of this masterclass, and I will talk to you soon.